Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah with another story from history that I hope sparks your interest and curiosity. Have you ever done something so bold, so completely outrageous, that people around you either thought you were out of your mind or secretly wished they had done it first? Well, today I am taking you to the sidewalk at the base of the tallest building in the world, on a morning when one ordinary man decided to do the most extraordinary thing. And by the end of this video, I promise you, you will never look at a tall building the same way again. Stay with me. Picture New York City in the spring of 1977. The streets are loud, the skyline is brand new in a way. The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center have only been standing for a few years, and they are already the crown jewels of Manhattan. At 110 stories tall, 1,350 feet of steel and glass reaching straight into the clouds, they are the most dramatic proof anyone has ever built that human beings can do the impossible. Now I want you to picture a quiet, mild-mannered man named George Willig, not a stuntman, not a professional daredevil, a toy designer. He spends his days dreaming up children's toys. Sweet, right? But George has a secret hobby. He loves to rock climb. And one afternoon, he looks up at the south face of the World Trade Center and sees a mountain. So George does what any completely reasonable toy designer would do. He studies the building's window washing rail system. He engineers a pair of custom climbing clamps in his own workshop, by hand, designed to lock perfectly into those tracks. Then he quietly waits for the right morning. On May 26, 1977, before the sun had fully risen over the East River. George Willig walked calmly up to the base of the South Tower of the World Trade Center, attached his homemade clamps to the window washing rails, and started to climb. Within minutes, police radios are crackling, officers are rushing to the scene, and the people of New York City, who are never late to a good story, are tilting their heads back and staring straight up. There is a man, on the side of the World Trade Center, going up. 3.5 hours. That is how long it takes George Willig to climb 1,350 feet of sheer steel and glass in the open air above the streets of Manhattan. 3.5 hours of pure, breathtaking, impossible human will, and the entire time, thousands of New Yorkers gather below, necks craned all the way back, first in stunned silence, and then in an absolute roar of cheering. Because here's what nobody expected. That morning, in 1977, New York City was going through one of the hardest seasons in its entire history. Crime is high, morale is low, the city is struggling to remember what it is made of. And then this quiet toy designer from Queens goes and climbs the tallest building in the world on a Tuesday morning. And for 3.5 hours, every single person on those sidewalks remembers exactly what human beings are capable of. Now, when George reaches the 110th floor, the police are waiting. He is, of course, arrested. The city of New York makes it clear that it intends to make an example of him. They threaten to sue George Willig for $250,000, $250,000. But the people of New York City? They love this man. Letters pour in. The crowd that watched him is still talking. And Mayor Abraham Beame, who clearly has a sense of humor for which history does not give him nearly enough credit, does something wonderful. He reduces the fine, not to $10, not to $1,000. Mayor Beame fined George Willig exactly $1.10, 1 cent per floor. George reportedly paid it partly in nickels and pennies, because of course he did. George Willig did not climb that building to be famous. He did not do it for money or for attention. He did it because something deep inside him whispered, "I wonder if I can," and he was brave enough to find out. That is the thing I keep thinking about. The most remarkable moments in all of human history almost always begin with one ordinary person who decides to try something that nobody else believes is possible. And that makes me think about you, about the stories you carry around inside you that the rest of the world has never heard. Because here's what I know to be true. Your family has its own George Willig moments. Maybe it is your grandmother who crossed an ocean alone at 19 years old. Maybe it is your father who started over from nothing and built something beautiful. Maybe it is you, and a chapter of your life that your children or grandchildren will one day desperately wish they knew. Those stories are treasures that only you can tell, and I have to ask you something from the heart. What happens to those stories if they are never written down? The laughter, the courage, the hard seasons, and the triumphant ones, all of it, just quietly disappearing. I do not want that for your family, and I do not think you do either. That is exactly why we created the free Family Story Writing Guide. And friend, it is waiting for you right now in the link below. You do not have to be a writer. You just have to be the person who decides your family's legacy is worth preserving. That guide will walk you through the rest. It is our gift to you, with all the love in the world. And while you are down there, will you hit that subscribe button and come back to History Sparks every single day? We find the stories that make you feel something, the ones that remind you what people are made of, and we cannot wait to share the next one with you. I am Sarah. Thank you so much for being here today. Now go call somebody you love and ask them to tell you a story.